Peace, Sage. Good afternoon. I'm trying to flip my camera around. All right, all right. I was trying to wait and see if anybody else was going to get on, but I got to get started before I run out of time. So, I want to talk about something that I have seen. Peace, Brianna. Um, Something that I told my the group about, the 720 group. Something that I've been paying attention to here in my area. So let me let this window up. I have to turn the air on. So one is I pay attention to my surroundings, and I have come to realize that my surroundings speak, at least they do to me. And I believe they can speak to everyone if people are tuned in to what the surroundings, the environment is saying. I don't think it's special to me. I just think it's maybe because of certain configurations in my chart that I'm more sensitive to to picking up on these messages. Okay. Peace, cosmic mirror. So what I'm about to do now is give you an example of observations. Okay. Uh, okay. There's a street in my area called Debbie Lane. And what did I title the video? I think I titled the video, Peace Everybody As You Come In. I'm going to try to keep rolling. I'm here waiting to pick up my children, so I got a little limited time. This street is called Debbie Lane. We go up and down this street just about almost every day. All right? Now here, everybody's flocking to Texas, okay? And there's a lot of land here in Texas. It's expansive. So they're continuously building. They happen to rebuild the highways here, and I mean, that's the connecting highways. Just we have these highways where it's like they go up and they call them the mix masters, you know, and you're crossing all up in. Sometimes you be shit. You think you in a prop plane. Sometimes you so high up on these highways, these interchanges. Okay, so they're doing all this construction work. Same is happening in residential areas. They're having to do a lot of construction to accommodate all these people migrating to Texas. So this particular street, Debbie Lane, is becoming a major thoroughfare. And what they're doing is they are tearing up this street and preparing to widen the street. They've already moved the power lines back, the poles and everything, and it's obvious that they're about to widen the street. They're building new retail spaces, they're building houses, they're going to build apartments. I mean, this thing is, just got to be here to see just how big Texas is, and North Texas, just how expansive it is. Well, there's a construction company that is doing the work, and their name is Venus Construction. I've been seeing Venus Construction, Venus Construction, Venus Construction for like the last 2 years everywhere. So what we're gonna do is some of the conceptual blending that I talked about the other day, where we're gonna talk some astrology, We're going to mix in some etymology. And ultimately, we're going to see how it is displaying or giving indications of the world to come. And more particularly, the world to come, depending on where you are vibrating at this moment. Debbie is short for Deborah, and Deborah is in Hebrew is Dibber. And Dibber means word in Hebrew, but it also means bee, as in BEE, as in bees, honeybee. So we now have a symbolic connection between the bee and all of the other symbolism that we could associate with the bee. We now have a juxtaposition with the word itself. So this could almost be a whole litany of keywords that we could list out of correlations based on all the symbolism attached to the bee. It's divine order because they function in order. It is the hexagon because they work in hexagonal formation. I mean, the hexagon is the sextile, and so in astrology, and it's about the sextile is about work and it's about cooperate. I mean, it is. We could go on and on, making the connections. Then all the connections with the word. And what I wanted to do was I'm going to delve into the etymology of the word itself. Okay? Now, and let me I've been sharing this book for over 10 years. Okay? This is The Origin of English Words. It's a must-have. So, and I tell my people in my group, it ain't about memorizing all the etymological root of everything. It's about knowing the significance of even looking for the root that leaves you in the mastery. It's not about memorizing. It's about knowing to even check into this. And the mastery comes in knowing how to find the origin of a word and then finding all the symbolic connections that you can make by having that information. All right? So when we look up the word, it comes from two roots, and they spell it S-U-E-R and U-E-R. But look, when you say S-U-E-R, it's swear. So that S-U almost is now mimicking the S-W. And the word swear, S-W-E-A-R, comes from this same root. So we know that we're on a clue here about the pronunciation of this root family. So swear, S-U-E-R, means sound. It means talk. And it is imitative, just the sounding of this root word is imitative of certain words as whisper, buzz, swear, answer, swarm. Swarm of what? Buzzing bees. Now, buzz don't even phonetically sound like the other words, but it is being associated obviously through symbolism. Because one of the words that has that sw is swarm, and bees swarm. So even when you're tracking the etymology of a word, it is always still dealing with symbolism. And there's a symbol. You'll find these symbolic links even in looking at the so-called logical etymology of the word. So here we have be or word, which in Hebrew already connects it with the be, and then when we trace it through its Indo-European root structure, it is still traced back to the be through swarm, and the swarm having a buzz. So what is the connection here? We're talking about a vibration, because when the buzzing and the swarming creates a vibration, a frequency. So a word is a frequency. The Latin verbum, where we get verb from, comes from the same root. Now, when we learned about parts of speech, what is a verb? It is the action in the sentence. So, boom, your spidey senses should be going off already and making connections that the word, which is the frequency associated with the B, and the frequency denotes some type of order because B's function in order, which is what cosmos means: beauty, order, divine order. It is also an action. So now we connect into this whole thing of manifestation. It begins with a thought, and the word is the utterance of the thought, and that utterance denotes action. Let there be light. When that saga, that story opens up with let there be light, it is not just the sound connotatively. The sound is an action. The speaking of the word is the initiation of a cycle. It's an action. Okay, the other root I talked about was UER, and it means speak. It's associated with the Sanskrit vratam, which means vow. Let me make sure I can't read my hand right. Let me make sure I wrote that right. Yeah, vratam. It is right. Vratam. And it means vow. Now, if you go back to the video I did on the occult nature of voting, I talked about how vote traces back to mean vow. And it means pledge. It means promise. And here we find that the word, through one of its root structures, means vow, which is connected to a pledge or promise. So, when we talk about people speaking words that are curses, because when your word is a vow that you make with spirit realm, with the unseen, our words, we make contracts, we make pledges, we make promises, and those words are held in an account. Those words are not just lost. They are registered. They are recorded. I'm getting somewhere. Then, so what I did was I then looked at, since when I looked at word through swear, it meant sound. So I went and looked up the etymology of the word sound. 3 roots it comes from: A-U-E, S-U-E-M. Now listen, S-U-E-M is basically saying swim, and S-U-E-N is swin. So we'll start with the first. A-U-E means water, wave. From the Sanskrit vary, he blows. That's what vary, the Sanskrit vary means he blows, associated with the same root. The Greek Oranos, God of the heavens, where we get the word Uranus. The name Uranus is Oranos in Greek, God of the heavens, all tracing back to sound. Then we have swim. It means move in water. Swin basically goes back to sound, so it's defining itself. So the word is a sound, an action, and that action is denoting water or the movement through water, i.e. swimming. And water, as in waves, again, is talking about a frequency, a vibration. Currently, astrologically, we have the planet Uranus, which is the same as Oranos, in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by what planet? Venus. I told you on Debbie Lane, we have Venus Construction Company. Now let's think about what Uranus does archetypically. Uranus is outwardly explosive. Uranus is volcanic. Uranus is like surprises. Uranus is innovation. Uranus is inventiveness. Uranus is going against the grain. Uranus is about borders, which seems ironic. But what's the best way to define a border is to go beyond. Uranus encroaches, which then helps you see where the border was. So Uranus and Saturn are borders. Uranus helps define Saturn's border by it going outside the box. Okay? So we're currently having the breaking up of the current structure on Debbie Lane right now. Debber, word. So the word creates the sound. The sound is a vowel, is an action. It's a wave, it's a frequency. The old frequency is being disrupted right now. Uranus and Taurus. Taurus, fixed energy. Uranus hates fixed energy. Although it co-rules a fixed energy, Aquarius. But you got to think, Aquarius is the most mutable of the fixed energies because it's air. And okay, you got to, arguably you could say Scorpio too is water, but Scorpio water is cold and stagnant. Okay? But Uranus does not like the fixed nature from Taurus perspective. It's earth energy. It's crystallization. And Uranus wants to blow all that up because it wants to expand. And so here you have the operations of Uranus and Pluto, because those two are in harmony right now. Although they are destructive energies, they are harmonizing. Why? To build the world to come. And what's going on that street on Debbie Lane is a microcosm of the macrocosm. It is showing on a minuscule level in this little old city, you know, how this street is being expanded. But for it to be expanded, all the infrastructure got to be kind of torn up. So the earth is being torn up. That's Pluto. You know, things are being torn down, uprooted, Uranus. And those two are intertwined with each other right now, and they're supporting. And they're harmonizing around an energy that they initiated in the mid-60s, which that's another conversation. But this is a great time of understanding and breaking through old paradigms. Breaking through old programs. Breaking free from old barriers. Rewriting the script. Redefining your word. What words have you been living by? Because those words denote how you've been acting. They denote what frequency you've been operating at, how you've been either swimming or drowning in the waters of life. My son asked this morning, well, what causes hurricanes and what causes storms? And I was like, well, I say, well, what I know right now, what I know is that when two pressure systems collide, you know, high pressure meets low pressure, it creates a degree of chaos, and it hit me. And I know I ain't no expert at this, but I'm just going off my ghetto meteorology. But it made me think about when you look at the tree of life, and how up here at the top you have Ein, Ein Sof, And what it is it starts with the Ain. Ain is the eye. And we hear about the eye of the storm. Well, Ein Sof is a storm cloud. That's what it represents. And so before this tree comes into formation, there is chaos up here. But in this chaos is an inherent order. And that order is represented by the first expression, which is Kether, that comes out of the storm cloud. So when he asks about what creates these hurricanes or whatever, these massive storm systems, and my best way of trying to explain it what I could at that moment, I said it's when two systems meet. So an old world meets a new world, you're going to have the entropy of the world that existed, which causes the chaos, which what appears to be chaos, which there is no actual chaos. There is only order. But what we experience as chaos is the fragmentation or the breakdown of an old order as it is shifting into a new one. So on Debbie Lane, it's chaotic right now. You got a lot of people who can't keep up with traffic, slowing everything up on their phone. You get hung up at the light. It can seem very chaotic, especially in the evening. In the morning and in the evening. When traffic's heavier. But there's an order that's going on with this. This is a temporary appearance of chaos, because this chaos is necessary to create a new order. And I think there's a macrocosm again to help us see on it's a microcosm to help us see on the macrocosm, and then bring it back down to your individual microcosm of what are you manifesting to birth? What are you birthing? What's gestating? What timeline are you on? Because everybody's gonna evolve. But some people may not graduate in this cycle. Okay? Some people are going to have to go back and repeat some grades. And some people are at a part where they're here to graduate at this particular time. We're living in what's equivalent to, I say, are equivalent to so-called biblical times. And what we're experiencing is the end of a previous cycle. And you think about all of the things that have given us indications, the dawn of Aquarius, and things move in layers and waves, and through waves we've been moving more into this Aquarian world, and we are experiencing the birthing pains associated with it. So what timeline are you on? My mother, and shout out to Gemini Brown. He just did a video, he was just talking about manifestation and that Pisces Virgo axis. And I have a mother who's a double Virgo, sun and moon in Virgo, and she sold her. We got her a car this summer. We went up to North Carolina, and she sold her old car today, and she was feeling depressed because that was the last little memory of my grandmother with that car, and just the fact that my mother's had a hard life of just always having to work and struggle and never having many nice things, and damn, these people going early. And I was talking to her today about learning to expect to win, and learning to expect to receive karma. See, we always think of karma as some type of punishment. No, karma is the results of actions. And if you've been selfless in your actions, you know, and you struggled and worked and struggled, then part of your karma is to reap what you have sown. Like, go and look at that Revelations 14 and 15. You know, take your sickle and reap for it, for the harvest season is ripe. I'm butchering it, but go read Revelations 14 and 15. I'm on the timeline when I'm taking my sickle out, and the sickle is associated with Saturn. You feel me? So you can be very confident in the reaping when you know you've been working. Now, if you've been bullshitting, I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna reap what you have sown or have not. But if you've been working and toiling and having to endure, then you're supposed to be expecting, based on divine law, the harvest. And so it should give you a measure of comfort, even as things are still looking crazy, uneasy, uncertain. The road getting all torn up, and you still trying to maneuver through this road. We still got to go up and down Debbie Lane, but the road's all torn up. Traffic's backed up. But there are signs that something is coming. Sometimes we fall short on what our capabilities are because we just can't endure throughout the gestation phase. Don't abort the baby. Let's go back. I see a whole bunch of... I'm gonna have to get me a moderator. Please, let's see. Am I a Leo? No, I'm Aquarius though. Peace, everybody. Let me see. Rashika, peace, Hezekiah. Let's see. And the potty. Jerry Flowers. Let's see. You snatched that goggles. Oh, I don't know. This look like some... Oh, we got some... Oh, we got some... What's this? Some bots in here? Yeah, we got some bots. It's all good. Retarded motherfuckers need love too. Let's see. Brianna said Revelations 4 and 15. Yeah, thank you, Brianna. Take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. There we go. There we go. Appreciate that. Peace, croissant. Peace, Shauna. Yeah, so I hope the message is received. I must be doing something right if I'm attracting whatever these fungi are, these viruses or whatever. But yeah, this is just a quick, as I always say, impromptu. What I wanted to do, I wanted to go and actually go to the street. This morning I had my my little thing for my phone. What do they call that little... I don't have it with me. My little selfie stick. I was gonna get out there and record it on the street. It was too much traffic, and I just decided to. But I wanted to be in the moment, and I wanted to show it, because there's something about seeing the visual of this, really see the street name, and you know, uh, bots are diversity in the gut biome. True that. True that. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. I want to again thank everybody, the humans, for your positive energy. And as always, you can check me out at 720astrology.com. A host of offerings there, from readings to coaching to our classes to my bundle, my books, you know, a lot of ways to be edified throughout your journey. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember, know the stars to know yourself. Peace.